Welcome to All Things Mental,
a podcast that honors the messy, beautiful, nonlinear journey of healing. Because healing isn't about fixing what's broken.
It's about discovering what you need in this moment and learning to trust yourself along the way.
Here, we share stories, resources, and reminders that you're never alone on your path.
So take a breath, lean in, and remember,
you are not broken.
You're just becoming a more beautiful version of your higher self. We're your co-hosts, Michelle
and Leanna,
here to remind you that
you're never alone
on your healing journey.
Welcome back to All Things Mental. This episode is all things friendship, where we're going to talk about our journeys from how it was like to have friends as a kid all the way through to adulthood and everything in between. Because as me and Michelle know, it is not an easy journey always to have friends. Friendship breakups, friendship new beginnings are not one and the same, but they have wildly deep impacts on our hearts. So anything you want to add to that, Michelle, before we kick things off?
Wildly deep impacts on our heart. That's, good Lord, is that true? It's crazy how much of an impact someone can have on your life, whether it was a friend you had in kindergarten or just someone that you worked with for like a year or two or whatever. Because, I mean, we could do a whole separate episode on like relationships in the workplace, because like that could be its own episode. But for me, I can't really think of anything I want to add to what you said, because you said it oh so beautifully. But I did want to make a comment. I love that we didn't plan this, but we're both wearing blue.
That shows that we are deep friends from years and years now, and we're connected. So
oh yeah, absolutely. Like this was not planned. Like I'm wearing a shirt that has like a whole bunch of like random like nerds on it. It says the Brady Bunch, and it's like a pull on like the Brady Bunch.
Oh, how cute. That's
yeah,
so
but
nice.
I think that for me at least, my first friend was in kindergarten. Probably before that, but the first friend that I genuinely remember was kindergarten. And honestly, if you want to go back even further than that, I am really good, not really good friends, but I actually had a chance to talk to one of my cousins today, and they are essentially like my sister. And the reason why I talked to her is because she texted me the other day. I was like, hey, I'm gonna be in town next week. I want to see you. So we're actually going to be hanging out next week, and I'm really excited. And we both have difficult relationships with our siblings. So like I said to her, you're basically my sister. And she goes, yeah, I feel the same way about you. You know how I feel about my sibling. I'm like, you know how I feel about mine. So it's just kind of beautiful that you find those connections even in like blood relatives. But like you find friends in kindergarten where you're like, oh, I'm going to be best friends with this person for like ever. You don't know what forever is when you're in kindergarten. Like I had friends when I lived in New Jersey that I do not still talk to. But ironically, one of my best friends is originally from New Jersey, just like me. So it's kind of like crazy how like the universe brings you who you need when you need them.
I totally agree. I believe that there are some people that come into our lives for a season, within reason, or however we want to think about that, because sometimes it's just situational friendship, you know, like we live in the same area, we live in the same town, we connected on this area of life, or we, like you said, we work together, or we are friends through mutual friends. Like there's all different levels of friendship, all the way from acquaintance to best friend, I think, and then like family, right?
Yeah.
But in terms of like my journey with friendship, I remember like each year of elementary school, like certain friends that there's only one friend from like elementary school that I somewhat still connect with on a regular, well, I say regular basis, but that's not what it's not all the
Regular
time,
basis
but
for
like,
you guys, because I have friends that good for you for having a friend that you still talk to from elementary school. Because for me, I don't have anybody. Like my earliest connection is my friend that happened to live right down the street. And we are still best friends to this day. Her birthday is actually tomorrow. And I can't wait to celebrate her. Like, not that I'm going to see her, but like, I'm going to text her like on every platform that we communicate on. She's getting a happy birthday wish from me.
oh, that's so nice. Yeah, I mean, the friend I had in mind is not necessarily someone I talk to on a regular basis, but she came to my wedding. Like, she's been there like through our childhood, and we've reconnected in various ways over time. And sometimes we just come back to each other, and it's just like really beautiful. I think of my maid of honor, who is a best friend to me, and she and I reconnect again like every so often, every once in a while. Her and we met when I was living in Rhode Island for work for 2 years because we were in the same apartment complex. We met through yoga class at
Yeah,
the
you talked
apartment
about this
complex.
on a previous episode. I remember that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a special thing because like some people just like hold space in my heart for sure. Um, that I have deep appreciation for. It's just that life gets crazy and we don't always have time to connect, or we're just not in the same town or vicinity or whatever. So it's like really challenging. And some people just aren't, I acknowledge that some people just aren't very good at their phones, like that don't always check on, you know, social media or whatever, or their texts, like, but like I'm trying to get better about when I think of somebody that I actually like reach out to them and say, "Hey, you're on my mind." But like even
Yeah, because
I'm guilty of
sometimes you need that because it's really sweet when you get that. Like, I
key.
text two people today that I was thinking of and was like, hey, I miss you. I was thinking about you. And it's probably because I knew we were going to be doing this episode on friendship. And I was like, who have I not talked to in a while? But like, my I had friends, you're right, vicinity is everything. I had a best friend in New Jersey, and I spent maybe one weekend at her house after I moved up to Pennsylvania. Never really saw her again. I had friends when I was in middle school, and then I stopped being friends with them because I think I talked about this, but like Halloween and how then that Monday she was like, oh, well, I never actually was your friend. I was waiting for somebody better to come along because that Monday at school after Halloween, everybody like just stopped talking to me. And then 2 weeks later, I asked her because I wanted to know. And like, I mean, there'll be times where like you think you're good friends with someone and it turns out that you're not. So like over
Mhm.
the years, you can also kind of like learn how to like decipher who is your friend and who isn't your friend. Like for me personally, I'm at the point where I go based off of like vibes. Like my closest friends that I've known since high school, even before that, is my friend whose birthday is tomorrow. And then I have this group chat with these two girls that I've known since high school. And really, I only ever really hung out with one of them. One of them just happened to be her best friend from high school. And the three of us just kind of like connected over the fact that we all graduated the same year and, all have similar interests. And we just kind of like bonded over that. And we have a group chat and we check in on each other. Like they know about everything that goes on in my life. I know about everything that's going on in their life. And we just kind of like vent to each other. And like we've created like this safe space. And like, I mean, when I got to my current position where I work now, I was like, I am not going to focus on trying to be friends with my colleagues. I'm going to just focus on my job. And as I mentioned before, the universe has a really funny sense of humor. And I now am like really good friends with like two of my coworkers. Like really, we have lunch together every day, and we're not talking about work related stuff. Sometimes we will, but for the most part, we're just talking about like plans. Like we're taking a trip together this summer, and we were talking about that over lunch today.
That sounds really nice. I have a special dear friend. We have an age gap, but that doesn't stop us from being friends, because we met through one of my past jobs, and her and I still connect at least on a weekly basis. And it's been a couple years since I've worked with her. And now that we can just see each other for lunch every month or every couple of months or so, or, but talk at least once a week just to check in, it's really special to maintain that friendship. That means a lot. Like, even though we don't work together anymore, we're still friends because we were so close at that job.
Yeah.
So, it's just a beautiful thing to be able to, it's been since 2019. So like,
Oh, that's awesome.
it's been a long
I've had
time.
friendships like that at work prior, but then when you like leave, you realize, oh, we weren't really friends. We were just coworkers. Like, I know when I leave, I will still talk to the two people that I'm referring to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think often about how easy it was, or maybe just different. Maybe easy isn't the right word, but how different it was to make friends in school. Like when we were in the same grade for 12 years, and then I had an elementary school, then a middle school, then a high school, and then in middle school, then the 3 school districts came together, and all of that through high school. So then that was like 6 years of the same people, and then meeting that group of people again, some of them at like my 10-year reunion and stuff like that. Like it's just a different phase of life that I feel like we're able to keep those friendships in that time. But even then, like, there's bullying, like there's so many different variables.
There's so many factors, because you made a very good point. It's so much easier to make friends when you're in school than it is in your adult life. Like, in my adult life, the friends that I have made actually in my adult life are my friend that's from New Jersey, that is literally like one of my favorite people on the face of this planet. Like, I will call her first to my husband, and my husband knows it. And I met you in my adult life, and then I met my 2 coworkers in my adult life. Like, and I'm blessed to have met like a lot of people. Like, I mean, a really good friend of mine, I want to say ours now at this point, that is, I joke that she's like my big sister. And she listens to our podcast. So, hey. And like, it's nice because you mentioned like age gap. We technically have an age gap. Like, I'm a couple of years older than you, but I've always gotten along with people that are older than me or people that are younger than me. Like, the only people that I really am friends with that are my age are my cousin that I mentioned earlier and my best friend. And even still, like, they're both younger than me. Like, we were all born the same year, but I was born in February, one was born in July, and one was born in December of like the same year. So like, yes, technically we're the same age, but technically I'm also older by a couple of months. And yeah, like, I've always gotten along with people that are older than me or younger than me. I've never really gotten along with people that are my age.
Yeah, I feel that. I really do. Like, I've always felt like I'm the youngest in the room for many occasions. Like my jobs, I've always been the youngest by a lot. And I don't know really why, because if I started like an entry level position, like you'd think that it'd be around other entry level people. I don't know, but it's,
You're just that awesome.
I guess.
Oh,
I've gotten really lucky.
You're just that awesome.
Oh, thank you.
I know I'm biased, but yeah.
I appreciate it. That shows how deep our friendship has grown. And I
At this point, tell each other everything.
Yeah, we connect every day, not just on the podcast, like about the podcast, but we connect on like deep things in life and I appreciate our friendship. Like I want to say that we're becoming best friends.
Oh, absolutely.
Yay.
Absolutely. Like, and here's the thing. I remember growing up and my telling my dad that I consider so and so and so and so my best friend. And I remember him saying, "You can only have one."
Mm,
And I was just like, "No." Like, I mean, you mentioned earlier that like you've reconnected with people. That's how I reconnected with my roommate. So, my roommate lived down in Miami with their parents, and they were going through something with them. So I was like, why don't you move up here and live with me and hubby? That would be better for you. And like they were like, but we haven't talked in years. Like we were roommates for a little bit. I'm like, yeah, but I've always like considered you like a really good friend. And if you're in a not so great situation, have courage and be kind. Like I always go back to that and also put the kindness into the world that you want to see. So I literally didn't even like ask my husband. I was like, "Hey, so and so is going to live with us in a couple of months. I'm not sure for how long, but they're moving up here." He was like, "Okay." And now when they moved in here, we got closer, obviously. And it took some time and adjusting. But my husband and them are also really good friends now too.
that's really nice.
Yeah.
That's so nice. I I hold a special place in my heart for the friends that I've had through college that were my roommates. Um, though some of them, were just that. We were roommates and
Yeah.
that's it. But the friend group that I had that, we went to a trip to Florida for a spring break and like I remember realizing on that trip, oh wow, we're not the friends I thought.
I
And
hate it when
yeah,
you experience things like that and you realize, oh, we're not actually that close. Cause like I miss my roommates from college. They were like the best roommates ever. And I've talked about one of them on the podcast before, my only other guy roommate besides my husband. And I recently reached out to him and two other people. And I like created a group chat and was like, I text them all Merry Christmas and then I text them all Happy New Year. And we've been like not talking consistently, but I literally created that group chat with the intention that we would like talk consistently. And like we did catch up for like a day or two and then like people have like stopped. So I'm gonna reach out to that group chat when we get off recording this. Cause yeah, no, it stinks when you're like, oh, I'm not the friend that I thought. Because like I tend to put more energy or used to put more energy into relationships than other people. And then I finally was like, I'm not gonna do that. I need you to meet me halfway.
yes, I couldn't agree
At
more.
least.
Oh yeah, 100%. I agree with you because it's always so frustrating when you feel like you're putting in more effort into somebody or something than they are back.
Yeah.
And it hurts in such a unique way because like I said, that group of friends from college that we had a spring break trip together and I realized that I they were how do I explain it? I just kind of realized that they were not the friends that I wanted really in my life, like forever type of thing, or like for more than just college. Like, and then they made me feel bad about because I was with my now husband when I was in college. And, they made me feel pretty bad about going to see him on weekends. And even though I lived with these people, and I'm like, I see you every day. Like, I don't see him every day,
Yeah.
you know? And
But
that's
also,
the
you
hard
gotta
thing that
have
I look back on
boundaries when it
myself.
comes to those sorts of things as well. But like, it's like I can see both sides of most situations. But there's times I have a friend that will say, "Yeah, I can usually see both sides of both situations." But there's times where I can only see one side.
Mm.
Like we
Yeah.
had a situation similar, like together recently, where like I explained it to one of our friends in our spirituality group chat that we now have. And one of them, and I was explaining the situation to her, and she was like, yeah, but I can usually see both sides. I don't see that side. And I was just like, and it's kind
Mm.
of like awkwardly like, yeah. And my husband was like, yeah, I don't either.
Yeah, and that's when you realize that friendship or, the situation or whatever it is, like, comes to an end and it's
And that's okay.
okay. Yeah.
I love that we
Yeah.
said that at the same exact time. And it's okay. Yeah, no, absolutely. Because like you can just kind of like sense when something's over. Like I've talked about this before, but I had this really good friend that I still think about to this day. I actually had a dream the other night that she was in, and I think it's because I was looking up photos for a post for the pod, and I came across like pictures that happened to have her in it. And then literally last night I had a dream and she was in it. And it was the most random dream like ever. Like we were traveling Lego builders and we were like being paid to like travel and build Lego sets. And my husband was like, that sounds like your dream minus what's her face. I'm like, yeah, that would be awesome. I would love to be paid to go places and build Legos. Anyways, but like I remember I could tell very early on in mine and my husband's relationship that something was off. And the same thing happened with my other best friend that like I call before I call my husband. And but it was completely different. Like I remember not agreeing with my best friend that I'm still best friends with. And I had already planned a trip to go surprise her for her birthday. And so I flew up, surprised her. We had that week together, and that like kind of just helped us like reconnect and all of that. And then she said something to me that I'll never forget. I don't remember when she said it to me, but she was just like, you are so much more independent now that you are with your partner. And I was like, what do you mean? Because you know how to balance time with me, with him, with your friends, with whoever is important to you in your life. And that was really nice considering that the opposite perspective was my other friend who was like, well, you turned into a bitch ever since you started dating him. And I remember asking my aunt, who I used to be really close with, and I still am. I'm just not like, I don't live with her anymore. And my best friend that I like, again, will call before I call hubby sometimes. Like most of the time I'll call him, but yeah. Anyways, and I asked them both and they were like, you're happier. So if that's why she thinks that, that's on her. But like over the years, I like kind of like accepted that she was going through some stuff and she essentially wanted me to be her shoulder, her backbone. And I couldn't do that for her anymore because I myself was on a healing journey and I couldn't do that for her anymore. I couldn't give her the amount of energy that she wanted. And who knows? Because like, again, I'm not in her head. And I don't really know. That's just my interpretation based on everything that I knew.
Yeah. Yeah. It's tough when, like I
That
said
was like my
before.
hardest friendship breakup. Like I remember my husband being like, babe, I know you want to fix it, but there's literally nothing you can do. You have to let it go. And it sucked. And I did it. And now I'm happier. I have a tattoo that I got with her. It's a quote from Wicked. I have the Glinda one, and it says, because I knew you, I have been changed for good. And she has the Elphaba wand, and it says the same thing. And I literally have it below my left breast because it was closest to my heart. And I remember when I told her, like, I'm gonna get it here because it'll be closest to my heart. And she's like, oh my God, now I have to get it close to my heart. So she has hers like up here. So like I knew I meant something to her, and I will never cover that tattoo up because I truly do believe, because I knew her, I have been changed for good, just like kind of like Linda and Elphaba.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I mean, it stinks, but it is what it is. And I have amazing people in my life. I love my
Yeah.
circle. I love my people.
Yes. Yes. when I'm done with somebody, like when I emotionally have to
You're
detach
cold
type of
turkey
thing,
done.
yeah, I block people. And I just because I don't want them to see my stuff. B, I don't want to see their stuff. It's mostly because of me.
They are not allowed to have access to your world anymore. And that's
Exactly.
perfectly fine. Like, I mean, the one out of all the friends that I am no longer friends with, the only one that I wish I had a chance to actually, and I reached out to her, and was like, because we went on a trip. She came to watch me graduate from my master's program. We then went to Disneyland out in California, and I could just tell there was like this just energy shift. And I was just like,
Mm,
what the heck? And yeah, but like I've been ghosted before by friends. I had this friend that I did the Disney college program with like years ago, and something similar about like a friend saying something and kind of like twisted the words. And me and the girl that day or a couple days later, whatever, at work, it got spread around that there was an issue and that Michelle was mad at so and so. We both got off at the same time and we were on the bus sitting there awkwardly. And I don't remember which one of us spoke first, but one of us spoke. And then we realized it was a matter of he said, she said. And it's like, I never said that. And she was like, well, I never said that. And then we had a plan to like we were friends for like a couple years after that, and she was really good friends with this other girl from the college program. And like me and that girl talk, not a lot, but like we talk. And I remember, I think she cut off the other girl first or me first. I don't really remember. But how she cut me off was she was supposed to come down and visit me for a couple of days, and we were going to do Disney. And I remember like I took the days off, and then all of a sudden she texted me, I'm not coming. We're not friends anymore. Something along those lines. And I was just like, okay, whatever. I'm not gonna, your choice, whatever. And I remember texting my best friend and saying to her, I have these days off and like I have nothing to do. And she's like, check flights, see how cheap it would be to fly up here. Come see me. So I was like, okay. So I checked. It wasn't that expensive. My parents happened to be up in Maine. It was like the peak of fall. And she goes, here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna fly up. We're gonna do a day in New York City. I'm going to take you to go see the Alice in Wonderland statue in New York City. And then we're going to drive up and surprise your parents in Maine. And that's exactly what we did. And one of my favorite memories of all time happened on that trip. My dad asked me all the time, do you remember my secretary? And I'm like, yeah, she's part of one of my favorite memories. Of course, I remember your secretary. But we were playing Phase 10. We were in Maine and was getting really, really intense, like to the point that you could like cut it with a knife. Like, because we were all like so into the game. Like, what are you doing? You can't skip them. They've already they're skipped right now. You can't skip someone twice. Like really, really intense Phase 10. So we're playing and everybody is not talking. And I'm just like, I need to break the tension. So you know the song from the Muppet Show, ba-na-na-na-na.
yeah.
Everybody goes, na-na-na-na. Okay. Literally one of my favorite memories. I'm holding the cards, I'm looking around, and I'm like, ba-na-na-na-na. They all went, na-na-na-na. And then we all laughed for 5 minutes straight. None of us could, like, my dad almost fell out of the chair. I think my friend fell out of the chair, and my dad's secretary's husband. Like, it was so funny. And to this day, anytime I hear that song, I think about my best friend, my dad, his secretary, and secretary's husband. Like, it's literally one of my favorite memories of all time.
Aw, that's so nice.
And like, I mean, like serendipity, like that was meant to happen.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Because I always say everything happens for a reason within reason. But one more thing I want to say is, I mean, I have a lot to say, but you know what I mean. There's this quote by, I think it's Orlando Bloom, that is, people come into your lives and people leave it. You just have to trust that life has a road mapped out for you.
Ooh.
And I was like, did he really say this? And I looked it up, and it really was him that said it. It's one of my favorite quotes.
Yeah, I love that. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to write that down because that's a really good one. I did want to know your opinion on making friends as an adult because we have talked a lot about the friends that we've had through time, and you and I have yet to meet in person.
I know. It's
But
gonna
we are
happen
best
this year,
friends,
and
and
it's gonna be epic and magical. Those are clues to
yes.
where we plan on going.
Of course. It's gonna happen, and we're gonna be amazing, and it's gonna be great. But yeah, I mean, in terms of making friends as an adult, I felt really isolated. I remember when I moved states away from where I grew up to my first job in Rhode Island, and you know, all those 2 years, I didn't make. I made my best friend, who was my maid of honor, but like anything besides that was not really happening because I didn't make friends through work because my work colleagues were older than me by a lot. They had like wives or husbands and kids, and I just didn't relate. So like,
Yeah.
I just, so like I would love to know your opinion on like how, because like I look at my life now and I see how many new friends I have in my new area where I live. We've lived here for the past almost 6 years, and like it's just been it was a long journey to start to make friends, but now we finally have a group, and I have multiple groups of friends, and different interests, and it's just been a journey. So I'd love to hear your thoughts.
So for me, I moved down here when I was 22, going on 23. Because I moved down here shortly before my grandfather passed away. And I had really only my roommates in the college program. And then I moved into a house with one of my roommates from my actual roommate from the college program. Like, this is the second time I did it. And then my supposed best friend that came down with me, and this other girl that happened to work with my roommate. And I don't talk to any of them anymore, because one of them got a boyfriend, and that particular boyfriend became their whole world. And yeah, I don't really talk to the friend that moved down with me. So like it took me a couple years to like find my people. And then I found the girl that I mentioned. And I remember me and my roommate at the time, like before she left and, married her husband, I remember us needing to get out of our house, out of our lease, because there was like black mold. And I remember, yeah, it was bad. And this is like the girl who I don't talk to anymore, but I'm still friends with her gran. And I remember showing up. I stayed at her house before I met this woman. And because she told her gran, like, hey, they need a place to stay for like 2 weeks. So they were going to be on a cruise. So they let us crash at their house. We stayed at their house for 2 weeks, and then we wound up finding a place. But I will never forget when I finally met this woman. It was when my grandpa died. I needed a ride to the airport, and I asked her granddaughter, who was my friend at the time, if she could take me. Like, I called her, like, what are you doing at 5 a.m.? And she's like, I plan on sleeping, but I feel like you have another idea. I'm like, I need a ride to the airport. My grandpa just died. I get to her house, like, well, her grand's house, and she goes to give me a hug. Gran pushed her out of the way, gave me a hug, and said, I heard that you don't have any grandparents anymore, so I'm Gran and that's Pa. You take as long as you need to call us Gran and Pa.
Oh my God.
Like, unconditionally loved me. And I got with my now husband, and him and his best friend, like, not adopted me, because like, that would be weird if my husband adopted me, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And me and his best friend have gone through like a lot of ups and a lot of downs, and me and him are in a really good place. And through that, I've met 2 other guys, and it's just weird for me when it comes to guys, to like guys that actually are protective of me, and guys who actually have my best interests at heart, because like of the household that I grew up in. But now I'm at a point where my birthday's this month, and there's this Italian restaurant that my husband's best friend wants me and my husband to try. So he's like, we should go for your birthday. So we're going for my birthday. And last night I was talking with my husband. I was like, I want so-and-so to come, and I want him to bring his wife. So I text the group chat. I was like, you need to come to my birthday. We're going on this date to this restaurant. I don't know the name of the restaurant. I just said that he wants us to all go here, and I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be really nice. But like, I'm at a point now where I have my people, but it does take years and it takes time. And some people, you're going to go through seasons. Like our mutual friend in the spirituality group mentioned this to me when I was talking to her about what was going on. And she was like, people, it's okay if you stop talking to a person and then they wind up coming back into your life or whatever, or what have you. But with that particular person that I'm thinking of, and I know you know who I'm thinking of, it just took, there was just times where it's like, I feel like I'm being treated like a child more than I'm being treated like a mutual friend. And so it's taken me like a long time, but I have a group down here. I have a group at work now. I actually kind of want to see if I can invite the two of them to come to my birthday dinner. I have another friend that I don't see nearly as often, but I met her through my husband. They used to work together, and like he would always talk to me about her, and he would always talk to her about me, like to the point that like when she first found out about me, she was like, wait, I thought you were gay. Like she genuinely thought that my husband was gay. And apparently so did everybody else at work. And then like I like asked everybody, and they were all like, no, we don't. It was just her that thought he was gay. We always knew that he was straight. And he is, like, he's not into, he's straight, and there's nothing wrong with that. But like I have her and I have a bunch of people, but like this is a question, this leads me to another question that I'm going to ask you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you consider yourself an introvert or an extrovert, or does it depend on who you're with? Because for me personally, it depends on who I'm with. There are certain people that feed my energy and that I'm fine with. And there's people that drain my energy, and I can't be around them all the time, or I need to mentally prepare for them.
Good question. Well, I know my personality has changed through the years because, like, have you ever done the Myers-Briggs personality test or
No.
survey? I'll have to send it to you, and we can
Is
link it
that
in the description.
the number thing that you sent me, or no?
That's the Enneagram. This is the Myers-Briggs 16 personality type assessment. Is like it's a 4-letter it's
Acronym?
not it's an acronym, but it doesn't like, do acronyms have to make a word? I don't know.
I think so, or stand
Okay.
for something.
Yeah, so they're a 4-letter
Stands for
combination of what it stands for to be you. And every couple of years that I take the assessment, my personality shifts. And I find that to be very interesting, because versus the Enneagram, where you're rooted in your Enneagram type throughout your life. And, you know, because that's based on inner child and all that. But personality, I don't know. I think as my healing journey has gone through, to really answer your question, like I am now considered an introvert. And I consider myself an introvert because mainly I get my energy from recharging when I'm like alone, one-on-one with myself. Like I value my sleep schedule. Like I value my alone time, but also I like to do things with people, like us talking on the podcast. I like to play pickleball. I like to play mahjong, and meet other friends at different events and things. And honestly, like that has been really enjoyable. But I do come home and I'm like, okay, my battery needs
and
to
I'm the
recharge.
same way. I like to go out and I like to do things, but I recharge at home. I literally have a shirt that says my alone time is for everybody's safety. One of my friends at work got it for me because she came up to me to show me her shirt, and I'm like, oh my God, that's hysterical. And literally like 2 or 3 weeks later, she handed me one.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, you're so sweet. But like, I mean, yeah, like I like interacting with people, and there's some people that charge me, like my husband. I can, if
Mhm.
I'm feeling low, he can recharge me.
Yes.
My best friend that I've known since I was 12. I've known both of my best friends since I was 12, like the one that introduced me, my husband, and the one that I will call before I will call my husband. Like, I'll call him first, but it's usually like then her. Or if I need to get a hold of him, I'll call her and she will get a hold of him for me. Like, I remember one time I was sick and I tried calling him and he was not picking up. And she was like, okay, which restaurant is he at tonight? Because this is before he was at Disney. I'm like, he's at this location. And she just called and was like, hey, can I speak to your assistant chef? And got him on the phone. Was like, you need to go home. Michelle needs you like now. And you need to stop at the store and pick up this, and this. Like, tell them
Wow.
it's an emergency and you need to go.
Wow.
Yeah, like I was not like he came home and like I was TMI on the toilet. Like it was bad. Like I was like
Oh.
pale. Like it was really, really bad. Because what happened? Like, I don't know. Like I ate something and I think I got like food poisoning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the worst.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, uh, I that sucks so much. Um, but good that you have a friend that can
That
help
can do
you.
that for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I joke all the time that she's my wifey
How
and she
sweet.
knows it. And
Yeah.
like my husband also knows that like when we're together, we don't make him feel like the third wheel. There's times where we do, but like we tell him, call us out because we don't want to do that to you. Call us
Aw.
out. But yeah,
Yeah.
no, like I mean, also like my friends have like merged together. Like this past weekend, 2 weekends ago, we went to Epic, as I mentioned on a previous podcast episode that we were gonna go. It was so awesome. Like I can't wait for you to come when we go. But like, anyways, like my best friend and my husband's best friend, they sometimes don't exactly, they butt heads. But I mean, that's because they're both stubborn. I'm also stubborn as well. But they bonded over something on this particular trip. We went to a restaurant and my husband's best friend was like, does anybody like oysters? And no one said anything except for my best friend. And that was it. They bonded over that. I think it was more so my husband's best friend than my best friend, but like he literally texts a group chat that my best friend is not in a couple days later going, hey, next time your best friend's in town, we should go here. They have an oyster hour. You get 35 for $35. It's actually a really good deal for oysters. And I was just like, I like remember texting my husband being like, we have to go. Like it cannot just be them. What the heck are we supposed to eat? We don't eat oysters. And he's like, we'll just drink. And I was like, no, we're not going to just drink. That's irresponsible. So I was like, okay, there's got to be something on the menu that's not oysters.
Aw.
But yeah, like, I mean, it takes time to find your people and to find your village, but like, it's a journey. Just like everything in life is a journey. You have a healing journey, you have a friendship journey, you have a, I don't know, whatever else you need in your life kind of journey. Because life is a journey. Life is a highway. Ha ha.
Yes, I agree. I agree. And I think the silver lining to all of this is not only do you make friends through proximity, but you make friends through shared interests and you make friends through deep connections and points in your life. I think those are like the three pillars for me. And now that I'm almost 31, like it's
Oh,
amazing.
we never love, okay? Peter Pan analogy to never, ever, ever grow up. You take your age and you add it together until you get the single digits. So you'll only be 4.
Aw. Well, I don't mind being
Neither do
right.
I. Neither do I. I'm just, that's like one of my favorite memories I have with Peter Pan at Disney. I remember telling him that me and my friend would switch our age. Like if you're like 23, you'd be 32 or whatever. And he goes, well, that's silly. Why would you do that? Why don't you just add your numbers together so you get the single digits? And I was like, well, that's brilliant. Yes, we're going to do that from now.
Aw,
Because like
aw.
also too, like your friends help you never grow up. Like you should feel like a kid when you're hanging out with your friends. And like
Totally.
yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I love that we can just have a deep connection with so many people for different reasons and for seasons. And, friendship breakups are hard, but like what's even more beautiful is the people that we get to keep in our lives. So,
And the people that show up for you when you're going through stuff like that, like you want to know who your real friends are. Like as we record this is the day that our depression episode premiered. And it's amazing who shows up for you. Like my friend that I mentioned that is in my phone is Wifey. She and we converse through reels on Instagram. And if I don't send her a reel every couple of days or whatever, she'll or we also have a Snapchat streak going on, and that's where we talk. But if if she doesn't hear from me, she'll text me after hey, you okay? She checks in with me. She's the friend that I text her, hey, call me when you have a second. But if we really need each other, we're hey, do you have 7 minutes?
Beautiful. Aw, that's so nice. We're very blessed in this life to have such rich relationships and friendships, all the things. So thank you, Michelle, for being in mine.
Thank you for being in mine. I was literally thinking about how thankful and grateful I am for you and for our friendship and how much it has blossomed over we started this journey in August of 2025 because that's when I messaged you probably the month prior to that, but it's just blossomed into this really awesome friendship that I can't wait to see where it goes over the years.
Yeah, me too. I know. I'm so grateful.
And this podcast.
Yes, we're so grateful. So thank you all for listening, and we hope that you can reach out to us and feel like you've got a friend in us, because we're here for you to support you on your healing journey as we continue to put out episodes each week and content on social media. Make sure to follow us. We love you.
Make sure to comment on our videos on YouTube if something resonated with you, or we have it set up now on Spotify where you can leave a comment. And yeah, we also are posting a poll for each episode as well. So you can interact with us there if you don't want to comment, because I get it.
Yeah, of course.
Any feedback is good feedback.
Yes, we appreciate you so much, and we'll talk again soon.
Yeah, bye for now.
Bye for now. Thank you for listening to this episode of All Things Mental.
Please follow us on social media at All Things Mental Podcast to let us know how this episode helped you on your healing journey.
Subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts so that you don't miss an episode.
And remember,
you are not broken.
You're just becoming a more beautiful version
of your higher self.